And now, time for weekly show with a passionate India lover, chairman of ITV Gold and Parikh Worldwide Media. Get ready for loving sharing from physician, philanthropist, publisher, and India advocate in This Week.
Welcome to This Week with Dr. Sudhir Parikh. Renowned for his medical expertise and astute observations on global affairs, Padma Shri recipient Dr. Parikh joins us to delve into recent developments shaping our world. Today we'll explore politics, conflicts, and cultural milestones. Dr. Parikh, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Everyone.
Let's start with questions today. Dr. Parikh, the recent escalation between India and Pakistan following the Pahalgam attack brought both nations perilously close to full-scale war. With the US playing a pivotal role in brokering the May 10th ceasefire, how do you assess the effectiveness and durability of this truce?
Well, it is a good thing that USA has brokered the ceasefire, because otherwise I think that to and fro escalation was very dangerous. And since both are the nuclear power, and anyone can make a mistake or misjudge the whole thing and can use the nuclear, or even sometime if Pakistan is in corner and they feel that their existence or is in danger, they may use it. And then it's too late to do anything.
Yeah.
And then even we use it, but damage is done, right? So I think this ceasefire, personally, I think is a good idea, and it happened. And I think as our government, our Prime Minister also saying in the beginning, before they started this Operation Sindoor, that their main goal is to beat the terrorists, nothing to do with anything else. So I think they did it very effectively. They destroyed quite a few terrorist hideouts, and hopefully now we'll see whether this will be effective. But it's very hard to say that how always ceasefire is always temporary. It means it's hard to control both the parties. And somebody may break the ceasefire, and then again it may start to and fro.
Right. Pakistan's deployment of Chinese-made J-10C fighter jets and PL-15 missiles during the conflict has highlighted China's indirect involvement. What implications does this have for regional security and the balance of power in South Asia?
I think China's involvement and siding with the Pakistan is very uncomfortable for India, because see, India also has border with the China, and we do not want anyone who has a border with us helping the other country with whom we are not good relation. So I think it's a very uncomforting situation. And hopefully, I think diplomatically, our government should improve diplomatically, and with the trade, our government should improve the relation with the China, and that is good for everybody.
How about Baluchistan declaring itself an independent nation?
Well, I heard that story, but I'm not sure that how true that story is. In a sense that group of the people, I mean, it is a good idea that they declare the freedom, but I think they have no authority to declare the freedom, because Pakistan government probably they may crush them, and more innocent people will lose their life. For what?
And China's got like a lot of interest in
Right,
that.
and China has a lot of interest in Balochistan, because that's the way China can enter Pakistan.
Considering the involvement of major powers and the potential for nuclear escalation, how do regional conflicts like the India-Pakistan dispute impact global security and diplomatic relations?
Well, I think it's very sensitive and very important thing, because such nuclear power who are neighbors to each other, it's very tricky thing, and always that's why there was a Simla Accord before after 71 war, and between us and Pakistan. It means all the issues should be resolved by sitting down one to one and resolve the issue. And I think we are better off for resolving issues diplomatically rather than militarily. Otherwise, it's not going to work, unfortunately.
The media in both countries have been accused of fueling nationalist sentiments and misinformation during the conflict. How do you view the role of media in such high stake situations, and what responsibilities do they bear?
I think media should be very neutral and very should not be instigating or should not be hyping the things, and always report the facts, factual thing, rather than reporting just some different narration. I think otherwise both the country, the media was kind of hyping the whole thing, and that leads to all this kind of escalation. So media should be more responsible in reporting the facts.
Which media channel were you watching during this time?
I was watching all channels.
Which one do you trust?
No, I mean, there's no question of trust. Always in the war, no side will tell you 100% right story. So you watch a different leaning channels, so you can you can then conclude yourself what is the correct thing, you know.
While the US actively mediated the ceasefire, other nations like China and Saudi Arabia were also mentioned as influencers. Do you perceive these countries as neutral mediators, or are their geopolitical interests shaping their involvement?
No, I think their geopolitical interest is shaping their involvement, China and Saudi Arabia, because everyone has to kind of has stake in the India-Pakistan conflict, and it's very dangerous conflict because both are nuclear power.
Right.
And now we have kind of understanding that we never use nuclear power as a first attack, while Pakistan does not have that. So it's very dangerous. And so I think this kind of situation, only diplomacy should work, and I'm sure it will work.
President Donald Trump has offered to mediate the Kashmir dispute. Given India's historical stance on third party mediation, how might this proposal be received in New Delhi?
I think New Delhi definitely will reject, and I think they are rejecting it because Kashmir is our integral part of the India, and so there is no negotiation or talk about regarding the Kashmir that we have to resolve between India and Pakistan. There is no third party should be get involved in it, and I'm sure that the Indian government, our Prime Minister has already declared that we have no interest in talking about anything except Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and that's it.
And the terrorism.
And terrorism, but nothing to do with the Kashmir. They don't want our government, or we don't want Kashmir to be international issue again.
Right.
Because if it becomes international issue, then there remains international issue forever.
How has the Indian diaspora, particularly in the US and UK, responded to the recent India-Pakistan tensions?
I think all the diaspora, doesn't matter UK, USA or worldwide, Indian diaspora is always supporting our government, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because this is a question of our motherland and safety of the motherland. If somebody attacks our motherland, we all should be stand behind our government, should be in the one voice. And that's what happened. And I think everyone, 100% people of Indian origin, regardless of their religion, regardless of their following, they all were with the government and 100% supporting the government.
Do you see any notable shifts in community dynamics between Indian and Pakistani diaspora?
I don't know what way you ask, but I'm sure that Indian diaspora obviously 100% Or between them in here?
Yes.
I don't think so, because when we live in outside India, usually majority of the people, they are kind of understand. They are more educated, more informed, well informed. So I think relation between Pakistani community in USA or in England and Indian community is going to be probably in near future will be smooth out, and it will be okay,
Eventually, it will
eventually
be.
it will be okay.
Dr. Parikh, amid conflicting claims by India and Pakistan over the downing of Indian Rafale jets, and with independent reports suggesting at least one may have been lost, how important is transparency in military communication during conflicts?
Well, I think transparency is very important, but usually during the conflict, always there is always I mean, facts doesn't come out right away, but eventually it will come out, because shooting of the Rafale plane has a lot of significance, because I think there was some password which India wanted from the France. I think they did not give it a real time, and that's why probably we don't know whether one was shot down or not. But only person can only person can vouch is either government of India or government of the Pakistan, but mainly the government of India, because that's our plane and we should know whether it was went down or not. But it has a lot of long lasting implication. If it is happened, then there is we have to review the whole importance of the Rafale plane, and its how to operate and what is their the reliability and everything.
But you see, both sides are competing and pushing narratives without verifiable evidence.
Right. That's
And
true. So
yeah.
that's not the way it should be. Only whatever comes from the government official narration, that's the right narration.
And not the social media, of
Not the
course.
social media. Absolutely not. Yeah.
Italy and Greece are once again overwhelmed by waves of refugees crossing the Mediterranean. How should the global community balance humanitarian aid with border control?
I think it's very difficult to do. It's a very challenging thing to do. But at the end of the day, always there will be similar kind of exchange of the immigrants between two countries, or many countries. And you have to be very sensitive about how to handle it. And of course, most of the government are sensitive, and hopefully they will do the right thing.
Recently, President Trump, he kind of urged Tim Cook not to invest in India. What is your stance on that?
Well, I think if
America first or no?
no, I think if it is a story true, then it's not good for India, right? Because if Tim Cook doesn't invest in India, Apple company, right? So that's not good for India. So because by him investing in India would have created a lot of jobs, a lot of, and once this kind of large corporation is successfully manufactures things in India, then other big corporations will enter in India to do the manufacturing. So I think I hope that our government should convince Tim Cook to, if the story is true, then it should come back and invest in India.
Dr. Parikh, you were recently honored by the Rutgers Living History Society for your work in preserving oral history. How do you see the role of oral history in shaping cultural identity within the Indian diaspora? And how does it complement your work in medicine, media, and philanthropy?
I think this is a very great idea, because Rutgers University, as we all know, is about 250 years old university. And they used to have, in the beginning, in the initial part of their Rutgers University, the students used to read the history book, written book about somebody, like some World War One hero or World War Two hero or independence hero or person like me who came from outside and did something good for community. But again, that is written by third party. So when anything written by third party, it's always they're always missing something, or missing not only something but missing very important thing that if I tell my story, has everything what happened, why happened, right? But if third party or some writer tells my story, he will most 80%, 90% he will say correct story, but 10% what happened, why it happened, what circumstances it happened, that will not be in that story. And so this is all for students, and for students to learn in the life at that age, college age, is to see that how people how the person did what they did in the different field, and how they came, what challenges they had, all those things. If you hear from the person in particular person in real person, then that history has meaning. And that's why I think Rutger, what I understand, since last 100 years they switched to since early 2000, early 1900, I think they switched to this oral history society, and that gives them more real stories about the different heroes and different people, those who did something for community.
You are truly a hero.
Thank you.
Dr. Parikh, with May being recognized as Mental Health Awareness Month and growing initiatives to reduce stigma, how do you see the progress of mental health awareness in India compared to the US?
I think obviously US mental health is very well advanced, very well methodical, very well disciplined. While in India is nowadays is coming up very good. People are more aware of it, but still our Indian society, the mental illness, even here also mental illness considered as a stigma. But more and more in Western countries the stigma is less, because a lot of celebrity who has mental illness, they come out, and when the celebrity comes out and say and accept that I have mental illness, then common people feel good about it, those who has mental illness. So while and I'm sure now in India also should be happening that way, but I think India has to go a little longer way to be equal to the Western medicine.
I think Deepika Padukone was one of the celebrities who actually came out and spoke about
so
depression.
it makes big difference, yes.
Thank you, Dr. Parikh, for sharing your invaluable insights into these pressing global issues. Before we end today's episode, Dr. Parikh, please give us your closing remarks, and to our viewers who can follow Dr. Sudhir Parikh on Facebook at Dr. Parikh and on X with his handle Sud Parikh.
Dear friends, we all witnessed this last few days of India-Pakistan conflict. We learned a lot of, of course, we all should be supporting our government of India 100%, our Prime Minister 100%, and the way Prime Minister has kind of executed, and our army has executed Operation Sindoor. It's very commendable. We must congratulate our Prime Minister, his government, as well as all the three militaries.
The spokesperson.
Military people, military group, because they have done excellent job, and they showed that India has all the power in the world to deal with any conflict. And but again also the ceasefire happened is very good news, because I think in this kind of thing it was too dangerous to move. Keep escalating the whole conflict, because of both the country has nuclear power. So I think whatever ends good is good, And I'm sure both the country will work diplomatically, and I'm sure the country like USA will intervene as a mediator for in this conflict. So please support your country. Go for supporting your India, Mother India, and be patriotic. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.